I don't think anybody should settle for a D. It's a terrible grade. The Society of Civil Engineers each year rates our infrastructure here in America. And for several years now, they rate it as a D. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm a second-generation civil engineer. All of my career, as well as my father's career, we've been trying to push the message forward of talking about infrastructure, the need for infrastructure, what infrastructure means as far as us able to get the message across. My father, he was a civil engineer for over 40 years. He passed away about 23 years ago due to cancer. And since that point in time, obviously, I have my over 20 years as a civil engineer. And we still keep on resonating the same message. I remember my dad, who would go to city council meetings, to meet with county judges, meet with state and local officials, to try to push the agenda to let them know that, infrastructure is a vital lifeline for all of us. And in doing so, I kind of looked and see what his passion was, saw how he did it. And though he might not have been the most effective communicator, the message is always there. Tireless nights. And it was kind of a passion I saw that probably led me into this profession that I am, seeing what he did. So one thing that I'm challenged with, and our profession is challenged with, is, and I got to ask the question from you, is when you know engineers, though they're thorough and complete, how many people in the room think an engineer is a pretty dull personality? I didn't know there's that many engineers here. We just don't come across right. And I like to talk about two self-inflicted stereotypes that we as engineers are they're self-inflicted. One of them, which is that we're not the best people person. And I think following up that speech, it's probably a good topic we're just not empathetic. We're just not sympathetic. We're just not good people skills. I've been married for 26 years. I have 3 daughters. My oldest daughter graduated from UT several years back in hydrogeology, School of Petrochemical Engineering. She went over to Berkeley, thank God for fellowships, and got her master's, and she's on her PhD track. I have a second daughter. She went to NYU for 3 years, graduated 3 years. She's the artsy side of the family. So she stayed in New York for a while, and now she's in Berlin, Germany. And I have a third daughter at home that she's a sophomore in high school. And those 4 people are my continual evaluators of my inability to be a people person. A day doesn't go by which I don't get the message, you just need to stop thinking like an engineer. It doesn't matter. You need to stop thinking. We're just not, your formulas just ain't going to work on us. And so it's an ongoing process of trying to improve my personality skills. And it's an ongoing effort for all engineers. I know that in my business, we have about 40 employees. And I think it's pretty common in most businesses where you try to get everybody's birthday for that month, and you just do it one time in the month. Everybody comes down to the 3rd floor and has cake. And the admin came to me and says, hey John, we always have this cake left over. We got 40 people here, but only like 12 people show up. Well, about a third of our organization, about half of our organization is engineers. And we finally made the mandate. I made the mandate that everybody has 100% attendance. As a matter of fact, we do self-introductions. Because some of these engineers won't come out of their cubes even if you force them to. So it's a personality skill that we're trying to push the agenda. The other one is, the communication skills of an engineer. And it relates to the story that my daughter, who's the engineer, tells me. He says, how do you know an engineer is an introvert or an extrovert? Well, he's an introvert because when he talks to you, he looks at the top of his shoes. An engineer's an extrovert when he talks to you, he looks at the top of your shoes. and that pretty well sums up for the personality of an engineer. It pretty well sums it up. A lot of times, the other aspect of communication is that I'm a professional engineer, and part of the professional engineer, and I think there's other people that are professions in here, the state law mandates that we have continuing education unit. We go and get additional credits each year in order to get your registration renewed. And for engineers, I mean, this is where I think it's the bad side of our business, because we sign up for like a seminar. You try to do it over a 2-day period, sign up for, topics that you like or is interesting. But when you go to these seminars, though we're the most technical people, and the most knowledge person about the subject matter they're presenting, you go to the presentations, and they have 100 PowerPoint slides, and they proceed in doing the entire presentation in this position. And it's just a bad omen that, those are the people that our profession, we just have a hard time projecting out, what the needs are. I continually, I'm in a manager's position now. I don't use my engineering skills, more managing skills. And I sent an email out inside our company talking about that we're going to have a public outreach event, or that I'm going to be involved in something that has to do with communication. And I automatically, I get within nanoseconds, get emails, is PR going to be involved? You're not going to speak, are you? Aren't you an engineer? So we constantly, no matter where you come, you carry that baggage with you. So I think today, I started out by saying, we know that a D's not good enough. A D's not good enough. And I think with your help, and me trying to be a better communicator, we can try to get the message across that, with your help, we can make your travel to wherever you go a lot quicker, a lot more infrastructure means more roads, you get there quicker. With your help, we can make sure that the next time somebody has to make a decision to build in this town, that they build here and they don't build in Tennessee. And that when you go home, you do have water, and you do have a place to be in recreation, and don't worry about pollutants, that type of stuff. So with your effort, with your help, I think we can help build better infrastructure, but you can also help me by being a better speaker.